Black Americans, come here. I want to talk about the LA riots, but in a way that's like removed from the emotion and the political charge that's in the air right now. I want to talk about it from like a clear-eyed, unbiased view. It'll be a little bit long, but just rock me for a bit, okay? First point is that, let's be very clear. Undocumented immigration is illegal in every country in the world. In every country in the world. I'm traveling right now. I've been out of America since February, and every country I've been to, they wanted to know the address I'm staying. That means Airbnbs and hotels. They wanted to know my return flight that I was leaving the country in. They wanted my phone number, my email address, my address in America, and my address in Europe. They wanted every single piece of information they could get about me to make sure I was not going to stay in their country. Why? Because undocumented immigration is illegal in every single country in the world. If you enter a country illegally, they can deport you, they can ban you. So like in Europe right now, I have until I think the 26th of June to leave. If I overstay that by an hour, they have automatic processes right now. I can be deported and banned from ever entering Europe again. As an American, I'm an American. I have an American passport, born in America. It's illegal in every country in the world. So let's get that clear. Now, when it comes to the riots and protesting, I'm 100% on board with people protesting peacefully, making your voices heard, all that good stuff. But my thing is, like, if you're protesting that you want to stay in America, why are you burning American flags? And nothing against other countries at all. But my point is for the narrative, right? Like, if I'm an unbiased bystander watching the news from a narrative perspective, why would you burn the American flag, the country you say you want to stay in, the country that you want to be a part of, the country that you're saying, I deserve to be here, I deserve a shot at American residence and American citizenship. This is the country you want. You're burning the flag of that country, inhaling the flag of the country that you don't want to be in, the country that you fled from, the country that you say was so horrible that you ran from it illegally to risk deportation to come into America. From a narrative perspective, it makes no sense to me. It's like a lot of these people that are doing these riots and stuff, it's not even the people themselves. These are people who wanted a fight. They wanted a war. And this is going to be their excuse to start one with the government. So again, for people that look like me, Black people, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to think. The only thing I'm going to say is we should be very, very cautious about what causes we choose to throw our hats in the ring of. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying we shouldn't support our Latino brothers and sisters. My father's Haitian. I'm part Latino, right? I'm not saying we shouldn't do any of that. What I'm saying is we need to be very, very careful about what fights we choose to fight and how we choose to represent ourselves at this particular moment in time, is what I'm going to say. There are people, I promise you, in power that are just itching. They're waiting for a reason to unleash hell on the people that they don't like. So be very, very careful with narrative in narrative shaping, 100%. And then my fourth thing is I think Americans, in traveling the world, we really need to give ourselves more grace, I think. We have standards on ourselves that nobody else in the world has on their countries. Nobody else in the world. America, I think, is the only country in the history of ever that when we achieved superpower status in the world, where we could go forth and conquer every country that we basically could, essentially decided not to. Other than, I would say probably the only exception to that would be Hawaii, maybe the Philippines, Puerto Rico. The Philippines has since got its independence. I would say the only example of that would be maybe Hawaii and Puerto Rico. But like, other than that, the United States could have gone forth and conquered the entire world, and the American people chose not to, mostly because we're individualistic and want nothing to do with the rest of the world. But we hold ourselves to the standard of not only we're not going to use our powers for evil, but we also must use our powers for good. And that has never been expected of any other country in the history of ever, including not now, that we have a moral obligation to go forth and help every other country that's struggling. That's never happened in the history of ever. And so I think Americans, we need to give ourselves more grace on both sides of the aisle and just in general of like, yeah, what people are asking of us, what the world is asking of us has never been asked of any country ever. And we need to be more gracious, I think, with each other. But yeah.
The reason why you're not seeing so many black people at these protests is because that's what Donald Trump wants. Okay, Donald Trump wants us to be the front line, to be beaten on, and things of that nature. And the fact that you guys have not acknowledged that, you're looking behind for black people, and you've never sat down and said, well, why aren't black people jumping to the front of the line during these protests? I made a video after Kamala Harris lost that illustrated that black people are tired. We are tired. We're exhausted. And so we decided to take a different approach. We decided to not be the front lines. We decided to be the ones at home. We decided to be the voices, things of that nature. Organize also amongst ourselves and get ourselves together, because clearly people did not vote with us. Now you're seeing the effects of that. The reason why you're able to notice things within the Trump administration is because they can't center black people as the problem. That's what it is. They can't centralize black people as the issue. And they've been trying. They've been trying every which way to get us out there to protest, and we have not budged. Of course, we're against these illegal deportations. We were the ones who told y'all this was going to happen. A black woman running for president told you that this was going to happen. And a lot of you guys said, fuck it. Mind that the reason why black people have taken a step back collectively is because of what we've seen over the past couple of years. And you guys didn't learn your lesson until you had to deal with it yourselves. This is white people. This is Hispanic people. This is Asian people. Now everybody's sick. We told you.
So I'm sitting here watching about the ICE raids, right? And let me say this. If you are an African American, this is for you. Don't get in that. The strategy is beginning with different ethnicities, okay? But what they want us to do is they want us to jump in because they want a reason to put our butts in jail. Be careful about, you're supposed to help your brother. Yes, you are. Pray. Do not get out there in those streets acting like you the next, what they call a martyr, because you will be. Stay in the house.
When I was out in Los Angeles protesting the ICE deportations for the past few days, besides the fact that I got paid $150 to do so per day, I kept seeing signs everywhere that this was being funded by somebody much higher than the person that I had met. For instance, they would give us certain streets or certain targets to go to, and on those streets, there would be pallets of things that could cause destruction to the community. I am not joking. For instance, you turn a corner, boom, there's a pallet of bricks. Oh, that's convenient. Let's destroy the community. And y'all know me, I'm a good guy, but I truly do not care that much about the ICE deportations. I just wanted that $150 a day. But I got to thinking, man, whoever is funding this must really hate this country. So as time goes on while we're protesting and things evolve, they evolve in a lot more violent nature. For instance, instead of there being a pallet of bricks on the target neighborhood or target street that we are protesting on, it'll be a pallet of flammable objects. So it was at that moment when I saw that pallet of Molotov cocktails sitting on the ground, I thought, man, should I really be doing this? Like, this is bad news. This is going to get way worse. Now, I'm not from Los Angeles or live in Los Angeles, so I don't really care about destroying that community, but I'm American after all. Like, this is not good. Moral to the story is there are certain people in our government that wants us to go burn the local police station down, but in actuality, the corruption is at a much higher level.
So there's this article I was reading, on why it's safer or why black are recently keeping off these protests. Many black folks are opting out of many of American protests currently, because they have seen this play out before. We have shown up in droves for cause, and we've taken risks in the streets for doing so. And in today's climate, where threat of violence are real and memory of disproportionate police response is fresh, some are asking a very reasonable question: is it safe for me to be there? We have marched, we have organized, We have shut down streets from Selma to Ferguson to 2020. Our bodies have always been in the front lines, often without protection, often without recognition, and too often, once the dust settled, we are left out of the story entirely. And some are saying no. And here's the deepest truth, or the deeper truth. Many black folks are tired of marching for justice, only to see the same system stay intact. Tired of fighting battles that don't center our needs. And many of us are still angry that in 2024 election, 54% of people voted to elect President Donald Trump for the second time. Now, it seems some of them are having bias remorse and are preparing to get information to let him know how they feel about him. Angry at once again, we are expected to risk our bodies while others organize rallies that may not fully account for our safety or in our history. The anger is righteous. The exhaustion is earned. In fact, I want to affirm that all forms of protest matter. Whether you're marching, organizing, creating, educating, resting, voting, or buying from a black-owned business. If you're working towards justice, you are doing the sacred work or the sacred work. So basically, this is one of the articles that supports reasons why the black have decided to actually stay away from all the mess that the white folks created. Yeah. The black Americans have been center to many of the Americans' protests since time immemorial. And now the fact that the blacks have actually decided not to participate in any of the reasons, or actually, let's just take an example. There was a hands-off protest. There was a March, I think it was March 5th or something like that, protest. The blacks decided to just sit down, and mind their own business, concentrate on their mental, well-being. The blacks have been fighting for over 400 years, both from those slavery camp, the segregation camp. The blacks have been fighting for just for actually surviving. Now the fact that blacks have decided to actually stay away from the protest that's happening in LA shows how much they have been fed. They are fed up with the mediocre that has been happening. Many a times, when a black are in the forefront, there's always some shooting, live bullets, and this time they decided to just sit down, and watch from a distance. And people are claiming that the protest that's happening in LA right now is not all about the immigration or illegal immigration or the ICE, it is somehow, it has some deeper meaning. Some people are saying that this is actually Trump's way of actually diverting Americans, from concentrating the big, ugly, beautiful bill, which he is determined to actually see it passed, that increases the Americans' expenditure and increases the American debts. But it's the American debt So people feel, when we've seen many of these videos that have been circulating, of people claiming to were actually paid, almost $150 per day to participate in protest. But now my main concern is, as one of the speakers of the gentleman whose video we just watched, he says, like, why do you ban the flag of the country that you actually fighting so hard to stay, to stay in, So, and even so, one of the videos of, I think, an already deported immigrant who is actually back in California. So we don't know how that happened, but the genuine protest has been hijacked by actually people who have their own agendas. So any American or any California's people, please let us know, is that demonstration genuinely? Things are happening. I think they sent DHS, they sent the LAPD, the federal police, actually. And now they are talking about sending Marine. People are being shot. People are throwing stones. As a person who comes from a country that actually have been faced with, let's say, danger, even people being shot, live bullets in demonstrations, I support the fact that people are demonstrating peacefully, but when, in in many African countries, people protest very peacefully, but when they send the police, the reinforcement, that's now where the hell breaks loose. People starts to throw stones at the police. People starts to loot. People starts to destroy people's property, like what are being witnessed here in LA, right? And I've seen it's reached a point where I think they're showing people, actually police in rooftops, actually are shooting down at the protesters, which is not that fine. But the fact that these black protesters decided not to be in the forefront, based on the color of the skin, we can say, like, the blacks have been disadvantaged for very long period of time. So the blacks supports you, the Hispanics, the Latinos, are in fighting for your rights, which I don't think it's the right, but against the illegal detention, and deportation. But let's try to have that peaceful demonstration. Be that neighbor's keeper, be your friend's keeper.